Well, I was in a bad mood, and I was going to make a Team Fortress 2 video, but then Down with Patriarchy asked me personally what I would do in the event of winning the Nobel Peace Prize and making a speech in front of possibly the whole country, if not the whole world, in a United Nations summit and things like that. Now, mind you, I am not nearly that full of myself. I am not nearly that egotistical where I think that I'm going to win the Nobel Peace Prize, that I'm going to become famous for this. That's not why I do this. I truly believe in what I do, and I truly believe that this is the right thing to do. That this is for a greater good, and that this is what we need to be worried about, because we are living in the age of computers. We are living in the age where the internet runs our life. Our life is inseparable from the internet. Now, some of you might disagree with that. Some of you might say that, oh, you know, the internet does not define our lives unless we let it. You just don't have a real life, and things like that. But you do your credit cards online. You do your taxes online. You shop online. You communicate online. You look at lolcats videos online. You watch TV online. You watch sports online. You do stocks online. Everything is online. Whether or not you personally rely on the internet, the economy relies on the internet, entertainment relies on the internet, social interaction as a whole relies on the internet. It's not something that can just be ignored. The very fact that Facebook has at least 300 million subscribers, if not more, I would say closer to like 2 billion people, and the fact that they can ban you whenever they want says something about the human rights issues in this whole world. I mean, Facebook is not simply a means to talk to people. It's not simply a means to blog about what you're doing personally. You think I get mad at the fact that I or anybody else gets banned from Facebook because they can't update me on they took a big shit? No. It's the principle that, you know, then that person cannot capitalize upon free coupons. Let's say, there's this new ice cream out at Checkers, and you can get the coupons at Facebook. I, Jim Profit, cannot get those coupons because my Facebook was taken from me. Now, mind you, I could probably get somebody else to get the coupons and then I could use them, but why should I have to? Why can't I, Jim Profit, just go to my own Facebook, get Checkers coupons, and then go to Checkers? How is that any less discriminate, any less oppressive upon me as someone saying that black people can't go to their grocery store or that Asians cannot go to that dentist? It's the same shit. We moved away from segregation, and internet has brought it right back. That's why the internet attracts Republicans and Libertarians, because that's the kind of Wild West world they want to live in. But the rest of us civilized folk know better. We've already experienced that. Women especially have experienced that, and they don't want to go back to that. That's why I tend to focus on black issues, women's issues, because they know how it feels more than anybody else. So that's just to explain to you why I side with black nationalists, even though I myself am not a nationalist, why I side with feminists, even though I do not personally think that abortion is ever right, ever correct, and under any circumstance, unless we can connect it to eugenics. Unless we can connect it to people like moderators, in which case it's not even really an abortion. It's just a preventive measure. It's preventive medicine to stop psychopaths from being born. But that would not really it would not really act like abortion. It would not really be the tenets of abortion that you have the right to end your fetus's life because it happens to be inside you. To me, that comes too close to being a moderator position in and of itself. That's why I'm opposed to abortion. Not because I particularly care, but because it's just like getting banned. Why? Because they want to. That's no reason to initiate force against anybody. But I'm deviating from the conversation. What I would probably say is that that it's incorrect that we believe that you know, people can just be violated anytime they want to by anyone, anytime. That's all internet moderatorship is. Let me put it to you this way. When you're on the internet, you are nothing else but your thoughts. You are not a physical body. You do not have physical needs. You do not need food, nourishment. You do not need housing. All you are is your feelings. A lot of people, even including people around me, think that the internet does not properly express humanity. They think that the internet is just this fantastic trolling background where people pretend to be someone they're not, and it doesn't really exemplify humanity. But it does. I think better than anything, it exemplifies what humanity really is deep inside, because of the fact that all they are is their thoughts. The internet is the closest thing to life after death. The internet is the closest thing to our spiritual side, where when we die, what are we? Are we our bodies? Are we our jobs? Are we our memories? No. We're simply thoughts. We're simply provoking feelings. That's all we are. Are we feelings of courage? Are we feelings of freedom, mastery, responsibility, integrity? Or are we feelings of oppression, hatred, malice, fear, regret, shame, perversion? Those are the things you got to ask yourself. So when someone can ban you, don't just think about the ban. The ban is not the point. It's not the point that you can't post on that board anymore. That's not what pisses me off. What pisses me off is that someone thinks they can do that to me without any apology, without any restrictions, without any accountability, and no reason at all to do it. There is absolutely no reason to ban anybody, regardless of how offensive they are, regardless of how much you don't like them. What does it hurt you to let someone think? That's what it comes down to. What does it hurt you to let someone freely express themselves and grow as a human being and grow spiritually and develop their own character? How does that hurt you? It's worse than an abortion, because an abortion at least has the defense that you personally have to deal with that thing inside of you for 9 months, growing, hungering, making you get fatter, making you have to shed it out in 9 months, and it's painful, it's tedious, it makes you, get riddled with hormones. That is a struggle. And while it does not excuse abortion, at least it makes sense. There is reason to it. But moderators have no reason whatsoever. There's no rationality to it. They're not sacrificing anything by letting you post. If that were the case, they are sacrificing by letting anyone ever post. It would be let's put it this way. If you were pregnant right now, it's not going to matter whether you are pregnant with some black kid. It's not going to matter whether you're pregnant with some retarded kid. It's not going to matter, because you're pregnant either way. Pregnancy in and of itself is objective. You have to deal with it the same 9 months. You have to deal with the same hormones, the same hunger cravings, the same bullshit. The only difference is if you knew what was growing inside of you, what kind of person that would be, that would affect your psyche of whether or not pregnancy was worth it. It would only affect your psyche if you thought that you knew that this person was going to grow up to be a serial killer or a rapist, and then you would want an abortion. But if you thought they were going to be a scientist or, cure cancer or something, then of course you would want to have it. But it's not that simple with forum moderators, because the forum moderators themselves are the bullies and the terrorists and the psychopaths. It's not the people. There's no amount of trolling in the world that can justify censorship on that magnitude. I just don't care what your defense is. I don't care what you think is so detrimental to the psyche of children and to the psyche of yourselves and to the psyche of everyone as a whole, that we have to control the environment and control what people say and do. There's just no reasoning for that. And then so that means that they are having abortions and controlling people's atmosphere and lives and environment and futures just for its own sake. That's it. There is no greater good. There is no justification. There is no reasoning behind it. It's just they want to do it because they can. And that is their only justification. That is their only defense, and that's good enough, apparently. That is what bothers me. It doesn't bother me in and of itself that I can't post somewhere. You think I give a fuck? I don't post for you. I post for myself. I post for people that are my close friends. I want to amuse them. I want to bring them up. I want to brighten their day. I want to make new friends. Sometimes I socialize just to meet new people. But I don't do it to please anybody behind the computer screen. I do it to expand my circle. I do it to, post something that's going on that I don't think enough people know about. I do it to vent. I do it to get creative. I do it to try to enlighten people a little bit more and to, expose them to new things. I know I'm not exactly the most nicest guy. I'm not particularly polite. I can be rude. I can be blunt. But I'm by no means a bad person. I don't hurt anybody. I don't particularly even insult anybody. How many times do you see me actually targeting people as individuals? I mean, name names. How many times do you see in my blogs and in my videos and things me naming people specifically that I need to bring down? Besides, of course, moderators. You can't do it, can you? Because I don't give a shit about other people. The only people I care about are those that are affecting me personally, whether for bad or for good. If they're affecting me good, I will name names, such as Sandra. Sandra is a really good person. She's smart, she's funny, she's got a good head on her shoulders, she's dedicated, and for a conspiracy theorist, she seems to know what the fuck she's talking about. She's not wrapped up in Alex Jones and David Icke and shit. And, she has real religious convictions. She's what I would call a real Christian, if such a thing even exists. And, meanwhile, there is the negative side to that. Richard the Rapist Buller affects my life in a bad way. So, I talk about him, and he's Richard the Rapist Buller. So, there you go. I talk about people as they either affect me, or I don't talk about people. I talk about concepts, because that's all that matters is concepts. We live in a world of concepts and principles. That is our reality. And unfortunately, the reality right now is predominated by evil intentions, by evil facts, by evil principalities. We are dominated by tyranny and control and coercion, and just accepting the way things are. It's a slave mentality. And, it's just, people accept it. I'll give another example. Valve. Am I upset because Valve made a shitty game? No, I've played tons of shitty games. I'm not mad at Valve for making a bad game. If you want to play a bad game, you go right ahead and waste your time. But I'm mad that Valve makes a lot of money for designing a bad game, but good developers, good, decent people that make really good shit don't ever see a dime. It's kind of like how Britney Spears could show her fucking cunt and make $1 million off the tabloids and shit, but then a struggling artist who is actually really good at the guitar and he has a really good singing voice will never see the light of day. That's the kind of thing that bothers me. It bothers me that everything that is Team Fortress 2 was built up by fans. Even the concept of Team Fortress was built by a Quake fan. And everything that makes Team Fortress 2 interesting at all, unique at all, is due to fans, and they don't see a dime of that. But, of course, Valve keeps making more and more money. And then on top of that, Valve is this criminal mob that is monopolizing the game industry and suffocating the market. Nobody can fucking sell a game online unless it's through Steam, and Steam controls all areas of online gaming. And then on top of that, they can delete you whenever they fucking want to. So not only is it a monopoly, but it's a monopoly that has no liability whatsoever. And, you buy games on Steam, you're paying money to play on Steam, and half the time Steam doesn't work because something went wrong, and then they delete you and you're fucked. You don't get to play your games anymore. So your money has been wasted. You have been robbed. And people make excuses for that. Oh, that doesn't happen. Oh, if that did happen, you were a troll. If you weren't a troll, you were a hacker. They make every excuse in the world. But what excuse is there for someone taking from you when you rightfully gave to them first? Like, if I pay for my checkers, for example, and then I don't get my checkers, how is that my fault? Why? Because I'm rude? Because I'm a troll? I fucking paid for my checkers, I expect to get my checkers. It's that simple, you know? There's no moral quandary here. If it's a fair exchange for capitalists believing in the free market and the free exchange of goods and services, you would think that they would understand that I pay so-and-so, and in return he gives me what he said he was going to give me, and that's the end of that. There's no terms of service. There's no, alternative futures. There's no whatever, background checks. There's no fucking fine print. It's just I paid for X and I expect X in return. I pay for checkers, give me checkers. I pay for a video game, give me a video game. And I mean all of the video game. I don't mean video games sometimes. I don't mean for now until 2 weeks later I get banned. I mean I can pop that shit in and play it anytime I want for the rest of my life because that's what I paid for. I paid for a game to be able to play it whenever I fucking feel like. And that concept is lost to today's generation. That concept is lost that we are entitled to that as human beings where we can expect to be treated a certain way. We're not asking for admiration. We're not asking for respect. We're not asking for, love and compassion. We're asking for the basic dignity of animals. Even animals get that much, They know that their animals next door to them are out to either eat them, fuck them, or ignore them. And they're not asking for much besides ignore them. And if said animal next to them can't ignore them, then they're going to eat or fuck them. It's that simple. You would not go up to a gator and expect a gator to let you beat them over the head with a club without snapping your neck off. So why would you let Valve do it to you? Why would you let Facebook do it to you? It's that simple. If they think they can do that to us, then it is within our rights to shoot them. That's why I support the stand your ground law. We need to start standing our ground more often, and you need to start shooting moderators, because they want to hurt you, for no other reason than to hurt you. That is everything they are. They live to hurt you. That is their nature. That is what they've chosen to base their life around. And you have to decide for yourself, is it worth it? Is it worth living in a world where you have no respect for yourself, where nobody else has respect for you, where you're expected to get up and go to work every day and do these fucking mundane tasks and just, work yourself to death? You're gonna die at like 70 because God forbid you should get your Social Security check. They keep raising the age of that. You're not going to get food stamps because we keep voting for Republicans like idiots. You have no real freedoms. You have no real choice in anything. You have nothing provided for you. And you're going to live your life working this hard, dealing with all this shit until eventually you die. What are you getting out of that? What can possibly make you so scared to not just say something outright? Am I telling you to go out and kill random people? No. But if I thought it would work, yeah, I would tell you to go out and do that. I would do that myself. If I thought that it would make a difference to just grab a gun and just fucking start shooting people randomly, I would totally do it. But it wouldn't help anything, because that's not how things work. But, I'm not going to somehow stop myself from saying that. Because what's the point? What am I getting in return? What am I ever getting in return? What am I getting in return for my complacency and my cooperation? What am I getting in return for my work and for my ethics? What am I getting in return for submitting to society and being a subordinate to it and then they don't want to give me anything. Not even my basic dignity that we agreed that if I pay them, I get something, and I keep that something. That something does not get taken from me while I'm sleeping, and I wake up in the morning to go play a fucking game, and somehow I'm banned from the server because whatever. Because let's face it, if I knew how to hack, like a lot of these TF2 psychophants seem to think, they would not have gotten away with banning me to begin with. The moment they would have banned me, I would have fucking hacked them, would have taken their credit cards and posted it everywhere. You right now would have Gabe and Naywell's social security number and fucking credit card if I knew how to hack. Because I don't fucking care about the money. It would be the principle that they don't get to do that shit to me. So, clearly, I don't know how to hack. And as far as what I would do with the $1 million, I don't honestly know. Because while I would want to give it to people, I don't know if people can be trusted with it. I don't know if just anyone could be trusted to be charitable to, and then they'll grow up to be decent people. There are a lot of pro moderators out there, and I would not want to give them a cent. I would want to see them starve on the street. They deserve it. But do I want to see people starve on the street just to starve on the street? No. Do I think rich people have a right to their money and to hoard it and to keep it from other people? No. So, what I would probably do with that $1 million is try to use it to ensure rights. And by that I would mean I would use every single dollar to sue moderators and to take their sites from them, and in return make money to the state, which could then use that for constructive purposes. Infrastructure, food stamps, schools, hospitals, and things like that. That's how I would use the money. I would use the money specifically for justice. Because what am I going to do with $1 million? I have no fucking idea. You know, hookah does not cost $1 million. Ramen noodles and soda does not cost $1 million. I can live anywhere. I can live in a fucking one-bedroom apartment shack. You know, I can shit in the woods if I needed to. I really don't need any material objects. The only thing about soda and smoking is it keeps me sane. It's just something I do because I need stimulation. But I don't really need anything. And yet people still think they can take from me. I have nothing to take. I'm poor. I don't have any kind of special college degrees. I don't have all that much influence or power. And yet people still want to take from me because they're fucking scavengers. They're too weak and too stupid to take from more powerful people. They're not that confident in their own ability to take from the super rich, so they take from guys like me. They take away what little dignity I have left, and they take away my freedom of speech because they're fucking rapists. They're fucking infantile, impotent rapists that need something. They need to feel invigorated, and they need to feel empowered, so they take what little guys like me have. And I'm not going to deal with it, because I have absolutely nothing to lose. I mean, literally, I have absolutely nothing to give you. I have absolutely nothing to be taken. All I have is my thoughts. All I have is my feelings. All I have is my principles. That's all I have. And when that's all you have, that can't be taken from you. It can only be changed. Principles cannot be stolen. They cannot be destroyed. They can only be changed. Just like energy. So, that's what I'm trying to get across to you here. Not you down with patriarchy, I mean you as everybody, the audience, is that we are our principles, and these principles are as energy. I am not suggesting some new age bullshit that, you know, we are that energy, fifth dimension, rainbow, fag wings, whatever. I am just saying, like energy, it cannot be destroyed, it can only change. And therefore, that's the only thing that matters. Because everything else is intangible, everything else is temporary. You know, you'll lose your house, you'll lose your car, you'll lose your girlfriend, you know, eventually you'll lose your life. You're going to die. And how do you want to die? Do you want to die at like 90, cowering in fear, you know, wondering what have you done with your life, and just clinging to life because, you know, you're afraid to die, because hell, who isn't? You know, no one wants to die, no one wants to lose that sense of self. We don't know what goes on afterward. You know, I don't worry about dying because, oh no, I'm dead. I worry about dying because then who am I? Am I Jim Prophet anymore? Am I anything anymore? What's the point of living if I'm not gonna fucking remember all that I went through? I mean, after all the struggle and turmoil and bullshit, and you're gonna fucking take that away from me too? Moderators transcend beyond this world. The very fact that I die is a sense of being banned, because when I die, that's being taken from me. Everything I ever had to go through, everything I ever worked for, everything I ever am is fucking taken from me. And why? Is there any reason to it whatsoever? Is there any justification for that? Is there any justification for leaving me completely in the dark as, you know, I travel from this life to the next? Why would God keep that a secret if God exists? And if God doesn't exist, why would mankind fill our head with lies about God existing and keep us stupid like that? Only for control. That's the only reason why we have religion. Either because people want to be controlled, or because other people want to control them. That's all it is. They need that sense of a flat answer. They're too lazy to just think about it. They have to, you know, accept whatever, and just that's the way it is. That's the ultimate downfall of humanity. It's not the fucking atom bomb. It's not psychopathic killers. It's not Iran. It's not even the economy and capitalism. That's the way it is. That's what's going to kill us all. That's what has been killing us all, is just accepting the way things are and not having any principles to push us forward. So that's not really the speech I would give. That's just kind of the rant that I wanted to get out there to express why I'm outraged at Valve and Team Fortress 2 and, you know, and the stupid ass fans. And I've just wasted a completely good coal talking for about an hour straight. So I guess that's it for now.